Ian,
Pat.
you know I have a fondness for the TurboGrafx 16.
No, I had no idea.
I did a YouTube video about it.
I've never even played one. I definitely don't know about the PC Engine.
I might have won one in a contest in my local paper in the Star Ledger. So the TurboGrafx Mini / PC Mini gets announced. We now have a game lineup. It's technically 50 games, even though there's overlap. I think it's about 46 games that are unique. There's about half, 24 that are English version, and 26 that are Japanese PC Engine versions, even though a chunk of those games have no language barrier in them. But they
do have, well, some do, some don't.
Only a handful have a language.
Yeah.
5 or 6. But some of those, there's crossover that you get both. One particularly you don't, which is the big one. So we have a list. Let's run through the list, Ian. On the surface, I think this is a fine list with only a few standouts, I think, that are disappointing, that aren't there.
We've got Alien Crush, Victory Run, Blazing Lasers, Newtopia, Dungeon Explorer, R-Type, Moto Rotor, Power Golf, Ease Book 1 and 2, Ninja Spirit, JJ and Jeff, Space Harrier, Military Madness, Chu Man Fu, Psychosis, Bonks Revenge, Parasol Stars, Kadash, New Adventure Island, Air Zonk, Newtopia 2, Soldier Blade, Lords of Thunder, and Bomberman 93. That's the U.S. side.
U.S. version side.
Well,
yes.
It's all on everything.
Yeah, but that's what we get. They marketed this as weird because they marketed this with different videos saying, here's the 24 games on the TurboGrafx Mini plus 26 other games. And then for the PC Engine video, here's 26 games plus 24 others. It was really strange marketing.
What they're trying to say is basically you get both sets with the system making it sound like a deal. But if
you only need one video.
True. And the other thing is, they're trying to make it sound better than it is. Most of these systems come with 40 games on them.
Sure.
So trying to be like, you get 2 sets of games, but in reality, it's
like 46-ish.
It's slightly more than you would usually get, but yeah, it's not. I mean, it's not huge.
Yeah, because let's see. Ease Book 1 and 2, you get them for both Japanese and English. The same with there's like 3 or 4 games you do that with. I think it's Newtopia. Is it Newtopia one of them?
Newtopia 2.
Newtopia 2 is on both, but not Newtopia 1. Both of those are. So 4 games. So it's like 40. Yeah. So the Ease and Newtopia games are on both. All right, let's go through the PC Engine titles, Ian.
The Kung Fu.
China Warrior.
Yep, which is China Warrior.
You don't need English for that.
Necromancer, the RPG with Geiger artwork on it that everyone has 2 copies of. Fantasy Zone.
Everyone has 2 copies of. What do you mean?
It's the game that you just always find laying around because it looks cool, but it's got a huge language barrier. So my theory is that everyone's bought it. And
gotcha.
It's just laying around.
All right, so that's one that you can't play, and if you don't know English.
Fantasy Zone, a Pirate Gate Ball.
Should
be. That's croquet.
Oh, okay.
Should be playable, although the menus have always looked a little weird for me. Nectaris, that's not playable. That's Military Madness.
But we got that anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's 45 unique games.
So there's a double.
Okay.
Dungeon Explorer.
We already got that. Newtopia.
Newtopia. PC Engine, so that's an overlap as well.
Oh, wait, there's no Dungeon Explorer on the U.S. side. Do you need... Wait, Dungeon Explorer, do you need English for that?
It helps.
Oh, shit. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it helps.
Uh-oh.
PC Engine, so that's an overlap.
That's Bonk.
Yep.
It's on overlap. That's Bonks Adventure.
I thought Bonk was on the first one.
Bonks Revenges.
Oh, got it.
This goes with the strange marketing. Why do you not market Bonks Adventure on the U.S. one versus Bonks Revenge? For me, that doesn't make any sense.
No.
That's just but you don't need to know Japanese for that.
So, no, you don't. Ease 1 and 2, you do, but that's an overlap. Super Darius, Super Star Soldier, those are
Good
fine.
shooters.
Damai Kimura, you should be fine with that. That's Ghost and Goblins.
Oh, Dungeon Explorer, I don't think you need to know Japanese. You don't.
They tell you kind of where to go. I mean, it helps in just going where you need to, but it's
for the hints when you talk to the NPCs?
It's not going to be a huge,
that's right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Aldine's, Newtopia, Gradius, Salamander. So Aldine's, Gradius, and Salamander, you won't need the language for. Newtopia,
Life Force.
do, but that's fine because it's a double.
What's Aldines? What game's that?
I believe that's a shooter. Super Momotaro Densetsu, If that's an action one, then you're probably fine, but I'm not sure which version that is.
I'll look it up right now.
Oh god, Ninja Ryukenden. They put Ninja Gaiden on here.
The trilogy.
No, the original one. There's no trilogy.
Is there a trilogy on it?
No, it's the PC Engine version of the NES game, and boy, are the controls stiff.
Why am I thinking that was a trilogy? Oh yeah,
I don't know.
But it's closer to the Super Nintendo one in terms of how it looks
Okay.
in features. Yeah, it's stiffer controls. That's a rough one.
And the soundtrack is awful.
Oh yeah, they changed it. It's like the Super Nintendo port. Yeah.
Star Peroger, Snatcher. Snatcher's the one that everyone wishes had.
That's the
Japanese.
one where I'm like, okay, now this is getting to weird territory, because that's the one where probably everyone's like, wow, this is great. It's on it. And people were asking me even Twitter, it's like, oh, they're translating that right? Like, nope.
No, it's part of the Japanese ROM set, which is a bonus, so that you get what
so you
get.
can just look at it.
Yeah.
Another Gradius game.
Gradius 2, Choaniki, so Rondo of Blood.
That's a big one.
Yep.
That's a CD game. And that's semi-system seller. Right
Bomberman
there.
94, Bomberman Panic Bomber, and Ginga Fuke Densetsu Sapphire, which is another big one.
Okay, there's a few big ones here. So we got Sapphire, which is a $600 CD game, hard to find. It's incredible.
More now.
Is it more? Incredible shooter. Choaniki, some people liked it. That's the muscular homoerotic shooter series, right?
The first one is, their weapon power-ups you can get, but the first one's more toned down than you would think.
More toned down, but it's fun. They're fun.
Yeah, they're fun.
So you have a list where it really capitalizes on the systems being known as a great shooter system. There's like 12 to 14 shooters on here.
Yeah,
it's a good amount of shooters. You have some, we'll just say, some stalwart US titles like Blazing Lasers and Victory Run and Alien Crush and Ninja Spirit, where these are games where this is like the quintessential TurboGrafx experience in North America. However, you do not get Splatterhouse. Obviously, that'd have to be licensed from Namco on there. That to me is one of the glaring omissions here. As what do people know TurboGrafx for in the U.S.? Bonk and Splatterhouse pretty much go hand in hand for what it's known for. Besides the shooters here and there, but in terms of like things that stand out. 13 shooters. So Pat Math was almost off. Wow. Is Kadash a shooter? I forget.
No, Kadash is fantastic. It's a multiplayer. It can be multiplayer, like action Dungeon and Dragons sort of thing.
Okay.
And you get 4 classes to pick from. It's kind of, if you wanted to think of it this way, you could look at it as like a side-scrolling gauntlet.
What am I confusing that with? Side-scrolling gauntlet. Okay. So that's the one thing to me where I think they should have Konami should have pwned it up and try to make a deal for Splatterhouse. Unless is there like a Splatterhouse collection that Namco has put out, or is it in a collection that's coming out? Probably
you can play them on. You can play them on the PS3 and 360 versions of Splatterhouse, but that's it. And it's an unlockable.
That came out like 8 years ago.
Yeah, and it was an unlockable. There is no collection, but there's nothing else from Namco on there, so they just didn't.
Yeah, Pac-Land was a decent title they could have put on there.
Well, and they had tons of good Namco ports in Japan. They did a Draga port that added like completely different and better graphics and added some RPG elements to it. The Valkyrie port was great. It's a bummer.
The other thing that people were saying, that I understand it, but people are like, where's Keith Courage? I get it. You want to see it on there. It's not worth it.
I don't know.
I mean, like, it's a game that I would love to see on there because that's the first game a lot of us played. Because that was a packing game originally.
It's also not a bad game.
It's not bad. It's average-ish, above average.
Sure, it's got its issues.
2.5 to 3 stars, somewhere in there. I agree they could have got it, but that's not just Hudson Soft. That's another company called Advanced Communication Company. So I don't know if there was a licensing issue with that.
Well, I think there is because technically that was based on an anime in Japan.
Okay, so
I have no idea what I can't remember what it was called, but there could be a licensing.
So licensing issue. So that one you no one's clamoring to play Keith Courage again. You play it once, you're fine. But not having Splatterhouse to me was the biggie. That was the one where I think, come on, Konami, come on. There's a lot of people that would love to play Splatterhouse.
The big one for me, I love Alien Crush, but the fact that Devil's Crush isn't on here is wild to me.
Is it wild?
Yeah, that's insane to me. People love Alien Crush, but Devil's Crush is, that's one of the first games a lot of people go for when they get a system.
That's there was 3 developers according to this: Kaga, Create, Compile, and Hudsoft. So I don't know if that was complicated or not when it came to getting that. I don't know. To me, you got 1 pinball. You should be happy having 2. But you said you would rather have Devil's Crush instead of Alien Crush instead.
Yeah, if you're only gonna have 1, have Devil's
But more
Crush.
people had Alien Crush though, since that was the original. So maybe that's why they thought about it. It's more common. Victory Run. It's an okay racing game. I'm surprised. I don't know why these minis don't have sports games at all. I just think it's interesting.
See, Final Lap Twin would have been a good choice.
A lot of people had World Class Baseball, which is a great game, or TV Sports Football or hockey. Those weren't great, but there was some decent sports games. I could have figured they would have thrown one on here. You say it's not necessary, but if they had the rights to do them, they should have threw one on there. Well, not with World Class Baseball. That was that Namco? Yeah, it's that Family Stadium series.
That's Famista. But I don't think it.
Who did
I don't
World
think.
Class
I don't think
Baseball?
World Class Baseball is Namco. I could be wrong.
It's not Hudson Soft, is it? Who did it? Oh, Hudson Soft did develop that. Yeah. So that to me, come on, it's not really 50 games with the crossover. You could have given us a baseball game, or even the tennis game's really good, or like give us like a Final Lap or something.
Well, that's Final Lap is Namco, and so is World Court Tennis.
So for some reason they're not working with Namco on this.
Yeah, they're not working with them. That's what I said. They're not working with them at all.
Okay, so what do you think about the PC Engine side? You like it? Respectable?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. The list itself is...
There's some deep cuts on here, right?
It's a good list.
There's some deep cuts.
It's an overall good list. I don't think I need one. It's $100.
That's what the PlayStation. See what Sony started, going from 100. They couldn't go 60 or 80 on this. Here's the issue.
I think this will do better than the PlayStation,
which is
Mini.
mind blowing to think about, being that the TurboGrafx sold like 1% the amount of PlayStations did. 2%.
It all comes down to the game list, and the game list on the PlayStation tried to please everyone and ended up pleasing no one.
Plus, we know the emulation will be solid on the TurboGrafx emulation.
Well, we hope.
Well, if they don't license the Magic Engine or something similar or whatever, like they have to. There's no problem.
It's Konami, man.
Well, this is where they didn't get me. This is where they lost Pat. They lost Pat the same way they lost 10-year-old Pat. Because when you're buying the PC Engine Mini, or in this case TurboGrafx Mini, I don't know which version I'm going to get, which color scheme. Maybe I'll just get the core graphics, the cute little gray and blue one. Which, by the way, I didn't think that was a European thing. I know in the UK they had the US looking console. But anyway, they lost me in the fact that they didn't decide to just say, you know what, Ian, we'll give you a second USB port in the front for a second controller. They're bending 10-year-old Pat over again, because you got to spend $30 to get the TurboTap to do multiplayer again. $30, Ian, before you get a second controller. I guess if that's USB, you're fine. You basically are buying a 5-port USB hub for $30 to have 2 players.
There's honestly not a whole lot on here, though, that looks like real good multiplayer. Like
even 2-player games?
I mean, there are. I'm just saying.
I just think it's egregious to do that. It's fucking egregious. You're forcing people to buy a USB hub.
What I'm getting at,
I guess you can buy a cheap USB hub.
I don't think they could really tempt me to do it. I mean, Bomberman would be your big draw.
But even for 2 players, though, yeah, you don't have to buy a second TurboGrafx controller. Probably you can probably throw in another USB, unless they somehow weirdly lock out other USB devices, or even lock out that. And then for $20, Ian, they're charging $20 for an AC adapter to plug in a USB. So they're not including this $2 plug, like the one that it's included with the NES Classic. They're charging $20 for it through Hori. Hori's the one doing the controllers. By the way, the controllers look authentic and great. They look like they're like the same exact mold. That's good. I just think Konami's getting greedy here, and that Konami's been known to do this in the past.
Oh yeah, Konami's
so they're losing.
Greedy.
They got me on the design and they got me on the game list. They're losing me on the cost and not including a second controller, and forcing you to literally buy a USB hub, which I guess is cool. You can use it on your computer. You can have a TurboTap USB hub maybe on your computer and use that. I guess
Konami's got a Konami.
So in theory, if you want 2-player action, you are spending $25 for an extra controller, $30, $50, $155 before tax. This becomes prohibitively expensive. This becomes worse than the PlayStation Classic when it comes to cost. So this is where now I'm on the fence, Ian. Now, I'm the biggest TurboGrafx fan that I know. And I'm like on the fence about this because of their price gouging on this. Besides not going out and including a few more games to really get it to 50 unique games, now it's only like 45. That's smaller potatoes than this. That bothers me. Does that bother you? You got to buy a fucking USB hub to get 2 players? You should care, Ian.
It's dumb.
It's dumb. Thank you.
It's dumb. It's absolutely dumb. But yeah, I'm just not buying one.
We're not buying it potentially. This is catered towards us, and we're like,
It's the price, the fact that I have basically all of these games on there already that I want to play.
But I should support it. I should be glad that Konami's finally dusting off their properties they've had for 10 years and done shit with.
I'm not supporting Konami.
Well, if not, Ian,
if I wanted that's fine.
They get locked away forever, and we don't know. They think that these games have no value when they do. This could lead to other re-releases.
I'm not supporting.
Am I wrong?
I'm not buying crap to support the game.
No, I know, but we want to do that.
I mean, it would be nice.
It would be nice, Ian. Yes, it'd be nice that Bonk maybe gets a new game in the future that they almost completed at Comic-Con in 2010. I interviewed the guy with my spiky hair. Wow, memories, 9 years ago. Anyway, so that's it on the TurboGrafx / PC Engine Mini. If you were going to buy one, I guess you go the PC Engine route. I'd probably maybe go the core graphics. I like the little gray.
I'd probably go
blue.
PC.
You go PC Engine? You go nice and small?